It's really lovely to see all of you here. This is a testament, not only to my mother, but to all of you lovely, wonderful people who are in the profession of education. So give yourselves a hand. The principals, the teachers, the administrators. That's really what this is about. So, it's not about one individual, it's about all of us. Once, there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples, and they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. This is the beginning of Shel Silverstein's poem, The Giving Tree, one of the first books I remember my mother reading to me. When Mama would read, she wouldn't just say the words on the page, she would embody them, act them out, speak them with the entire spectrum of emotions. Put simply, she would give them life. So let me try again in the style of Miss A. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day, the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples, and they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade, and the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. She read with so much commitment and passion, not only to her two sons, but to all of her students, turning dead pages into living worlds, inspiring us to be curious, critical, and creative, to not remain trapped in the isolation of our individual minds or the various social caves of ignorance and fear, but to reach into the world, transform it, and make it our own. Not as an act of domination or possession, but as an ethical gesture of a shared life, an act of communication, community, and communion. Because that is what education is about: communication, community, and communion. We learn so that we may better communicate, so that we might co-create a genuine community whose goal is the cultivation of an experience of communion. It is the classroom that readies us to participate in the sacred and the divine. It is the classroom that prepares us to experience that which is beautiful and holy. Education is not simply learning dead facts, rotely memorizing formulas and dates. Education is not a race to the top where some might possibly be left behind. Education is not individualizing but socializing. It is not the privatized but the publicized. It is not about quantity but quality. Education is not about mere information but about knowledge that strives to become wisdom. Drop the page, yeah. Education is emancipation. It is the means by which we become free, not only as individuals, but as a society. Because whether we like it or not, we are in this together. We share a world, and we are wholly responsible for that world. Education is responsibility. And the relationship between teacher and student is one of the most important for our society and our culture. The first incubation of the child is in the mother's womb, those delicate moments that prepare the fragile creature for the physical world. The second is in the household, one that furthers the nourishment, but also begins to prepare the child to move from the private to the public, the individual to the ethical. But the third womb, perhaps the most important, is the classroom. For it is in the classroom that the child learns to live in a world of others, to become a member of our community, a citizen, a whole human being. Without the classroom, not only does knowledge become stunted, but our personality. We remain fragmented, scared, and alone. The teacher reminds us that we are not alone. The relationship between teacher and student is only partly one of authority. More importantly, it is a relationship of love. While it might begin in hierarchy, it must end in equality. The student grows so that she may face the teacher in a relationship of mutual respect and recognition, and then together they become adults, citizens, whole persons who are able to face the world and change it. In a world that is becoming increasingly individualistic, quantified, profit-seeking, paranoid, and cruel, one of the only great bulwarks that might possibly offer hope and salvation is education. For the greatest lesson we can learn from the teacher are those moral lessons of humility, care, gratitude, and like Silverstein's tree, the lesson of giving. Because it is the teacher who gives and 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 gives, leaves, branches, shade, fruit, till they can give no more. We live in a world where people only know how to take, where taking is glorified and rewarded, where cynicism, fear, jealousy, and pointing of fingers become the norm instead of the anomaly. No, I say. No, Mama says. No, Miss A says. No, we all say. We must demand better of ourselves. We must educate ourselves against such cowardice and such evil. Both of my parents said no to this cowardice because both of my parents were givers. Dedicated civil servants who have given their life not only to their family, but to the public and to all of us here today. My father, a marine biologist, a steward of the water and the land. My mother, a teacher, a watcher of our children. Both worked to make sure our world remained habitable for the future, the natural world and the moral world. For a human cannot survive on land and water alone. A human needs a place to stand, but also needs the courage and the power to act, to communicate, and to create a world that is moral, beautiful, and true. Education prepares us for the greatest of human tasks. So let's jump to the end of Silverstein's poem, which is where I'll end, at the end of the book, which was always so sad to me, but the more I read it, the more beautiful it becomes. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I'm sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I'm too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I'm sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did, and the tree was happy. Mama, I ain't calling you an old stump. Because I know you're far from finishing your life of giving, but please, please take some time to sit and rest. You've earned it. We all love you. After Mama speaks, I'll have the tissues ready. She's probably gonna cry. Tequila too.